Hello, everyone. Mike with Imperial Tropicals here on another fun Friday. It's a little bit cold and windy today, so I'm gonna step in the greenhouse here. Hey, what's up, Ahmad? So Sierra is not here today. Unfortunately, she's missing Fun Friday, but I'm sure she's having fun. She's actually with her friends. I don't know what do they call it, a bachelorette weekend getaway with her friends before she gets married. What, next month? So Sierra will not be here today, but she, I'm sure, is having fun on her Friday off. So, so what's up, everyone? Feels like it's been forever since I seen everybody, but I actually went live last Friday when I was in Canada, but it was so freaking cold that I didn't really get to read the chat. I was barely surviving out there. It was like, I think it was like negative 20 that day. So very, very cold. So yes, it's a lot warmer in Florida. It was like 84 degrees when I got back to Florida after my Canadian trip. But we had a great time in Canada. Spencer Jack and all my friends up there. I've got Matt and Amy and Ray. I got to spend a lot of time with those guys, and Chris Biggs was up there. I got to spend the day with Chris. Tom, got to hang out with Tom, went out to eat with Tom, and just had a great time. So really enjoyed it. 3 days in Winnipeg, Canada was plenty of time for me to experience the cold. So, but it was a really great trip. We got to see Spencer Jack's new warehouse. If you guys don't know, Spencer Jack is, the premier Canadian supplier of fish. He's moved into a new warehouse. It's been, I think, at least a year ago since he moved into his new warehouse, and I've got to see so many nice fish that Spencer carries. And Spencer's been a great friend of mine for many, many years, and he's one of the few people that when they go collecting in South America or wherever Spencer goes, he actually brings the fish back to the U.S. Gets them into the U.S. so we can breed them. So a lot of the fish that I breed from Uruguay, in fact, all the fish I breed from Uruguay, came from Spencer Jack. So I think that's great because a lot of people when they go on these collecting trips, they end up either keeping them and not getting them into breeding facilities for people to breed. So pretty awesome to be able to get fish from South America and breed them here at Imperial Tropicals. So it is actually cold today in Florida. It's been hot all week, and then today it's like 50, I think in the 50s all day today. So it's kind of overcast, but that's about as bad as it gets in Florida. We're going to be back in the 70s tomorrow, and then I think 80 degrees on Sunday. So it's going to be nice. I'm going to try to read some of these questions and shout outs to everyone. Let's see. And we'll start from the bottom. Ginger says it's 48 in Texas right now. That's pretty cold. Leon from Virginia says hello. What's up, Raymond? Aqua Rob is asking if you could keep the Cuban cichlid in a community tank. Not if you want to keep the community happy. All right, sorry about that. See, since Sierra's not here, we're having some technical difficulties, but so yeah, no, Cuban cichlid's not a very friendly cichlid. So I would only keep them in a tank with other fish of similar temperament. And the best way to keep the Cuban cichlids is to get a group of them and have you a Cuban cichlid tank. So Jermaine says hello, everyone. NBN is asking his convict cichlid is a female and is super aggressive with my other aggressive fish and killed one of them. But I don't know what, I don't want to kill it. What can I do? Oh, that's tough. All right, so yeah, we don't want you to have to euthanize the fish because of its aggression. Convicts, even though they're cute and they're not really big cichlids, they can be very, very aggressive. What I would do, if I have, a fish keeping problem. So what I would do is I would get some more convicts and have a convict tank and, have them breeding. Maybe if you got a female, see if you can find a male convict of similar size. And they're really cool fish to keep. So, that would be one option. Another option is to find a home for him. Maybe a local pet store would take him in. So I'm sure somebody will take him. So find a home for him. If not, create a home for him by setting up another tank. It doesn't have to be a big tank, but then you'll be happy. So all right. Yeah, Troy Visser just said the same thing. Rehome back to local fish club or local club. Sydney's saying it's nice and warm here now. William D says hello everyone. Any info on the future of the firecrackers? So we actually warmed up a lot earlier in the week, and we started getting more spawns the last couple of weeks. So I have to check on the firecrackers, but I know we've pulled a couple spawns this winter whenever it warms up. So I don't think it'll be too long, and we should have some firecrackers ready. So make sure you're on that waiting list though on the website. So when we do put them back in stock, you'll get a notification, or you can always email us and they can check for you and see if we have a small batch. A lot of times we don't put those back on the website until we have a pretty good amount because they sell out pretty fast, and we have a lot of people waiting on them. So we might have a small group back that we could just do, an email an invoice to you. William D saying his Madoka is a beast. Looks great. Nice. I love the Madokas. Oliver's wanting to see the secret stash. Never. So we'll walk around though, and I'll show you some fish. We got a lot of things going on this week. Big J Fish Keeper says hello everyone. Any new American species in the future? Yeah, we actually just put in some new South American fish. I might have to ask Drayden which ones he put up this week, but I know we had the Gymnogeophagus rhabdotus. In fact, I'll walk over there and I'll go ahead and show you guys. For the Geophagus, the Gymnos are some of my favorite, and the rhabdotus are really nice. One of my favorite geos from Uruguay. So let's go over there and take a look at those guys. We're having to keep all these doors closed up today because of the cold weather. Let me flip this camera around. We're having to put covers over a lot of the vats to keep the algae growth down because we took the shade cloth off of this room before winter time to allow more sunlight to come through to heat it up more, but now it's been getting really hot, so it's starting to grow some algae in the tanks. All right, I'm gonna nut up these rhabdotus. And these guys do not get as big as other Gymnogeophagus types. They stay relatively small, and they're very, very colorful. At a small size, you can see really good color on them. Really like this fish a lot. See, even the little guys, you can see some nice spangling on the body. But I'm pretty sure these guys went up this week, so those are available. We also, I don't have them where I can show you guys, but the Geophagus sieveni, we also put up on the website. We actually had a breeder that is breeding them that contacted us, and that is where those came from. I got some fog on the lens. Let me wipe that off. Alright, that's a little better. So the Geophagus sieveni, which is another new geo to us, we're actually going to grow some of those up to a bigger size, but those went up on the website, and those have been selling pretty fast. Um, I think they posted it up on the fish group. I don't know if they put it on our main page, Imperial Facebook page, but that's another new American cichlid. I know the Dovai, if they're not back up today, they should be any day now coming back online, the big Dovai. I'm trying to think of what else, American cichlid wise. I do have another, let's see if they are available to show. I don't know if you guys can hear the birds, but man, they are out today. They're liking this cooler weather. It's been kind of nice. I know I introduced you guys to Drayden. I think it was two Fridays ago on the live feed, but Drayden's working with us now, and I'll say this, that he's done a great job helping us get some of these new fish online, because he's constantly going around and saying, hey, can we sell these guys? And like, I've had these guys inside for a few months, but this is the Australoheros scotolus, and this is also a Uruguay cichlid that Spencer Jack collected and brought them back. I do not know how they're going to do in like a community type tank. I think they're pretty aggressive personally, but I've never kept them with any other fish. But that's what they look like. Really nice fish. So these went up on the website this week also. Thanks to Drayden getting them up. So they got a distinct red spot on their cheek right there. So and I think if you go to the website, you'll see in the new arrival section, you'll see the new fish that just went up. So go to the website and you can check that out. And I know there were some other fish they put up this week that are new also. I'm going to try to get some of these questions up. Unfortunately, I'm starting with the questions that just came in. Ripsaw says it's 34 outside. Dang, that's pretty cold. Ginger said she had asked a question about the gold rams. We do have gold rams. In fact, I'm going to go into that room because it'll hopefully be a little less quiet. Because with the pumps, blowers, and the water going, it's pretty noisy. So let's go in there and take a look, and I can show you guys the rams. I know I show those guys off all the time, but yeah, I can show you the Bolivians. In fact, I just walked in and the Bolivians. And then as I'm filming these guys, I'm going to try to answer some questions. What's Peacock's asking about the German Rams? Yeah, I could go in there and show them to you. They're going to be in a different room, but I was planning on going into that room, so that'll work. Ruben is asking, I have a question. What's the earliest appointment you guys can make and the latest appointment you will take? All right, so for appointments, we do them on Thursdays and Fridays, and you can book them on the website. There's an appointment section for you to make an appointment. And I want to say the appointments start at like 9 a.m. and they go until 2 p.m. But no, as long as you give us a heads up, we can make arrangements for you. So if you're like, hey, I need to come in earlier, or I need to come in, after that, we could be a little bit flexible. But typically we do not like taking appointments after 2, because after we spend 30, 45 minutes with the customer, it's 2:45, and then we have to finish up our fish duties, taking feeding on, email us, and we could make arrangements. We have in fact, we got a group of people out here right now buying some fish with an appointment. So So there's the Bolivians. We have some Germans up here. And these guys are really nice. We can sex them too. So if somebody wants like a pair, or if they need a female or they need a male, these guys are pretty easy to sex at this size. The females have a distinct red belly, and at this size they're pretty easy to sex. And the rams are, I mean, that's one of our #1 sellers. The rams are extremely popular. This is one of our popular rainbows. This is the Bosemani, and these guys are showing exceptional color also. Yeah, rainbows are one of the fastest, growing in popularity of all the fish. I mean, peacocks, hats are still up there at the top, but rainbows are right there with them. Kamaka rainbows. I don't know why it is, but in front of the camera you can't see the colors that great, but they are a really, really spectacular looking rainbow. Plus they don't get really big, so got some breeding groups of rams here. Just this brand. This is the black rams. And you can see, I mean, they call them the black ram. They do have a lot more black on their head and on their body. They're not black, but by breeding these guys, that's how they get what they call the black knight ram, which is solid black. So that's pretty cool. This is one of my favorite tanks, and as you can see, it's empty. This was the Geophagus, not Altifrons, the Hecali, the albinos, and Mike Bernard just moved them into this tank. So I know it's hard to see them, but he set up some breeding caves. This is the albino Geophagus Hecali, so wish us luck on breeding these guys. Really excited about the albino Hecalis. We also changed our breeding setup for the multifasciatus, the shell dwellers. Before we were keeping them in the shells, and Mike swapped them around with the PVC pipes because we have a hard time getting the babies out of the shells and the adults. Once they go into these shells, they're very, very difficult to get out. So we've got, Mike made up some PVC pipes with caps on the end, so it should be a lot easier for us to get the babies out, because these guys breed all the time. It's just really difficult to get the babies. So excited about the new breeding setup for these guys, and hopefully, because this is the shell dwellers, or we get asked about those guys daily, about, hey, do you have shell dwellers? And we've never been able to breed enough of them to satisfy our demand. So this is going to be a little bit easier of a way to breed these guys. And the whole reason I came in here was the gold rams. So here are the gold rams. Somebody was asking if we had those in stock, and here's the current stock on the gold rams. The cardinal tetras, those guys are been selling like crazy. Nice healthy cardinal tetras. Some Lake Parvas, Sunset Wars. We had a pair of the Altifron spawn. Mike is, we're waiting to get a new light for this tank so we can really check and see the fish better. We also added another reservoir. Zach built this, so when we're doing water changes with the RO water, we could store more water on hand, so it'll make water changes a little bit easier. See a bunch of baby angels. What else we got in here? This is the mouth brooding severums, the liver furs. See, those guys are good size. Some of the Hypencistris, L333, Garupas. The fish have been breeding like crazy. We've been getting a lot of, I think that warm up that we had the last couple weeks really kind of set off the breeding. So these guys are hiding back there behind the filter. These guys aren't though, they're coming out. This is the red spot green severums. Really nice, colorful fish. Line bred. See, the male's not really liking me filming him. Oh, the red shoulder came out. Let's see if he stays in front. Yeah, they're a little bit shy. Yeah, lots of fry. Another exciting thing is the buffalo head cichlids have been breeding like crazy, so we've been getting a lot of babies on those guys. This is the red-black Ampa angels. Those guys are looking nice. That's a wild type angel. Pretty excited about. You can't really see the buffalo head cichlid. It's got methylene blue. Actually, you can. If you look back there in the back left corner, you can see all of them. See them all swimming right there. It's another fish that we've had a hard time getting the babies out of is the buffalo head cichlids, and I might change the breeding setup on that. So we're getting a lot more babies. You can see we had like several angel spawns. Those are all fry hanging on the side of the slate. All right, guys, I'm gonna try to answer some questions before I go to the next room. I might have a seat. I'll do it. So, all right. Turn this fan off too. All right, let's get you some questions answered. All right, Sid from Winnipeg. It was great to meet Sid. We had a couple people that watched the Fun Fridays every day show up. Sid was a great person to meet. Very friendly, very cool to get to meet him. You know, that's the cool thing about these meetups is, you know, we get to build a relationship with everyone online, and then you get to meet them in person. It's pretty cool, you know. Midnight Keepers asking how the new building is coming on. It's actually starting to move a lot faster than it was. We've got the office getting started next week. We got the aquariums, the racks. We got the floor done, so we put a sealant down on the floor. But you know, I don't really haven't really been showing off the building every week because I don't know, it just adds more pressure to us to get it done, and like I want to do it right the first time. So pretty soon though, I would say in the next couple weeks I'll do a walkthrough of the building and show you guys. Ruben says he's coming from Flagler County. So Ruben, just email us, and even if it's not on Thursday and Friday, especially people that are traveling, you know, from a distance, I'll make arrangements for you. I got to know that you're coming by, because if I don't, we might be in the middle of packing orders or breeding fish or whatever, and we just want to know when you're coming by so we can make sure that we're freed up. So MBN is asking if the wine Miller are going to be in stock soon. I think we'll have juvies ready soon. Let's see if I might have to show you from this side, but because of the cold weather, we've just been growing them indoors. Here's some of them. I'm going to flip the camera. There's some juvies growing up right there, and they're almost to the size that we'll start selling them. So it won't be long. We got quite a bit of fry growing up in these tanks. So I know we got another batch of wine Miller growing up that's a little bit smaller, but It won't be long. Blitz Peacock's asking about full-size Nagara Flametail. Um, I wouldn't say any of them are full color right now, and the reason being is that the weather is cool. Like we did heat up last week, but like today, I mean, the highs is going to be in the 50s, and when it gets cold like that, like it's been all winter, you know, our fish might be 4 inches, but they're not going to be full color because of the water temperatures. So, I mean, just it was amazing earlier this week when it was in the 80s. The fish were like showing really good color, and then all of a sudden the temperature drops back down and they lose color. So, you know, I think when you ask, you know, full color, they're wanting to net you up one that's like full color, and they're not full color right now. So, you know, they're showing good color, but they're not full color by no means. Like even the Azurius tank right here, I'm gonna net these guys up for you. I mean, I came in this room on Tuesday and they were all just like popping with color, and now, you know, I see a couple popping with color, but the water temps are also like 72 degrees right now. See that guy? And he's showing good color, and I would consider that full color. But like I said, there's only a couple of those guys. Most of them, the color just kind of drops off, and it's strictly from the water temps. So I think when you ask for full color, they want to be able to pick you out one that's showing, you know, breeding dress. And since, you know, it's cooled back down, we're not seeing really ones with breeding dress right now. So I think there was another fish you asked for, all the German reds. All right, let me see. German reds are here. And same thing on these guys. I mean, before I net them up, you'll see a couple males that are showing, actually you can't probably see nothing with the reflection, but a couple of the males were showing really good color, and then now that it cooled back down, they've dropped in color. But it's strictly from the water temps. Like we can't heat these rooms up. They do it naturally. So there's a nice one. You can see pretty good color coming out on that one. That one, which doesn't have a lot of red on it, which is part of the line breeding on it. With the dominants is, you know, the more dominant they are, the more red they'll go. But we're almost to summertime, or springtime I should say, and it's going to be warming up a lot, so we'll have a lot more fish that are collared up on our end. Now that doesn't mean like when we ship them out to you that the fish will color up, you know, especially if your water temps are 78 or 80. All right, everybody's asking about the warehouse. I kind of went over that update a little while ago. It's going good. Larry Deskins is on. Nice. Yep. Zen Ginger saying the PVC with shell dwellers is, she's heard of that before. Len's asking if you could mix different species of rams. Well, so all your German blue, your electric blue, your gold, they're all from the same species. They've just been line bred for coloration. So I do see people mixing them together with no problem. You know, now if you were going to mix a Bolivian with the German, I don't see any problem with it. The Bolivians are real docile, so I think they'll do just fine with Germans. So yeah, I think you'll be fine. Same thing with the Pistos. I think the Pistos would be fine with the Rams. Ginger's asking about the Pistos now. So I think they're going to be putting some up soon. I know they were working on pictures. We had a new Pisto type that we've been growing up. Um, just so you know, I don't handle that part. But if you email them, they can give you an update on the epistos. I know it's soon. All right. Yeah, Midnight Keeps asking about the plastic on the ponds. Yeah, it won't be long. I'd say within the next 3 weeks, we'll be taking them off. There, Ahmad and Lynn, there you go. Get on them. Make sure you guys hit that like button. And unfortunately, YouTube doesn't make it easy to like the video during the live stream. You got to disable the comments, and then you can see the like button. Lynn's asking about Severns with Rams. No, I wouldn't do it. The Severns could get pretty aggressive, especially if they pair up. Denver's asking about a stunner Dragon Blood. Once it warms up, I think we'll be able to break off a couple Dragon Bloods. Gary's asking about the stickers, how much they are. I think they're like $2 each. They're on the website. Kaylor's Aquatics asking about platinum parrots. So, or do we have plans to carry them? I do not plan on carrying any of the parrot fish that are bred for the deformities. I hear they make really good pets, but we're not going to carry those. If we do carry a parrot, it's going to be the true parrot fish from Brazil, and they get kind of big, but we're probably not going to be importing the parrots. There's a lot of breeding practices that we don't agree with, and that's one of them. Like, I'm not familiar with the platinum parrot, but I know the ones that are like red or the ones that are blue, they actually dip them in a dye that stains the coloration of the fish, and it's not good for the fish. They have a lot of losses when they do that, and I don't know. I'm not against certain hybrids, but there's certain fish that we won't carry. Like, we won't carry the painted fish, the tattooed fish, or any of the fish that might have health defects from the breeding. Harvey's saying it's definitely worth the trip. It was really fun. Nice. Ginger's asking about those tanks. Those are 40-gallon breeders that I showed in the breeding room. Josh's message got retracted. I don't know how that happened, Josh. I don't know if maybe you took it off, or I don't know. Sometimes YouTube, certain keywords they'll think is a curse word or something like that. But Anybody Killer is saying 6-inch blue Texas is beautiful. Nice. He's saying, Josh is saying, don't forget to disable comments to like the video. I don't know why maybe Josh took the first message down. All right. So Alfred is saying good afternoon. He received his order a couple weeks ago, including 3 big, beautiful Pindus, the Stomopedia Pindu. He said, you guys are awesome. How about any tips on breeding the Pindus? They're not that hard to breed as long as you've got a big enough tank size, because they do get pretty big. But if you're not on it already in our fish group, Allie Moody, we sent some to her. It's been a while ago, and I know she was posting up about a month ago that hers were breeding. Ours breed similar to like they're a mouth brooder, but they breed kind of like the peacocks and haps too. So just big environment, good food, good water quality, and they should breed pretty easy. Really cool fish. I really like them. Cichlids of Baghdad's on. Hey, what's up, Baghdad? Nice. I always think that's really cool when we get people from different parts of the world. And I know we had a fish person contact us. I don't think it's the same Baghdad, but he was from Iraq. He was writing a book on fish, tropical fish, and had asked if he could use our pictures. And of course we told him no problem. And but I think it's cool to be able to reach people from all over the world. Fish keeping is a worldwide love affair. I mean, Americans are not even the hardcore fish keepers in the world. You know, if you go to Europe, the Germans, they're way deeper in the fish game than we are, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I think people in the U.S. are learning more about the fish and becoming much more advanced fish keepers than what we used to be. The Phoenix 100, would Severns go well with angels, acaras, tetras, and cories? If it's a big enough tank, I would think you would be fine, especially if the tetras are bigger. If they're like cardinal tetras or red and blue neons, then I would say no, but I'm assuming that you probably have a pretty decent sized tetra in there if you've got acaras. So as long as the tank's big enough, you'll be fine. Sometimes the Severums, when they start breeding, they're kind of like angelfish. They'll pair off and they get very aggressive when they do that. So that would be the only concern you would have is if they started breeding. Yeah. So Jason's asking, do we breed our own cories? We used to breed them, but actually, there's a guy that I'm friends with that does a great job breeding them. So we just let him breed them. And once we start bringing in some wild stock and some different strains of cories, there's a good chance that we might breed some of those. But the way I kind of do things here at Imperial is if I'd like to work on new varieties, right? So if I have a friend that, and I know most of the people in the fish world that breeds fish here locally, especially, if they do a good job breeding a fish, and I could get a good quality, then I do not breed that fish. I let them breed that fish, and that allows me more tank space to work on fish that are not being bred by other breeders. So we like to work on the new stuff in house. Midnight Keepers ask if we're selling merchandise, just the stickers. I think we're having to reorder some shirts and some hats. In the future, I think we'll have a lot more merchandise, but right now we're just focused on the fish. Michael Brandel saying he will be in Florida the first week in March. Is it okay if I stop by if I email in advance? Absolutely. Absolutely. We have people, I mean, stop by all the time, especially from out of state, to come by and visit. So we'd love to have you come by and we can show you around. Giovanni saying he's stopping by just to say hi. Busy at work. Nice, Gio. Thank you. Yeah, Kaler's saying the Platinums are a King Kong parrot bred to convicts. Um, so, like I said, I kind of gave my spill on the parrotfish. You know, um, I think they're really cool, and I do know people that love them. I mean, I see them in our customers' tanks a lot when they send us pictures of their tanks. I'll see the parrot, but I would be more interested in breeding the true parrot fish that comes from Brazil, which was the one that created one of the crosses that they created the parrotfish with, because I think they're really cool and they're pretty rare. You don't see them in the U.S. too often. A lot of fish questions today. I like it. I'm gonna try to keep hitting them. Victor's asking, is it okay to keep Julia chromis mallory with frontosa? Okay, I'm gonna go on a limb and say yes. All right, as long as you've got good structure for them to go in and out of. I've done it before successfully, and I think you would be fine doing that. So sometimes the fronts, especially when they get big, they they might try to grab, a smaller fish, but I kept shell dwellers and with some MOBAs that I had, and it was pretty cool because the shell dwellers would come up and the frontoses would swim right by them and ignore them. So, Cat's asking about what I got going on this weekend. Baseball and more baseball. But that's just for Saturday. Sunday, there's no baseball for the kids, so I'm gonna probably be working around here on a few projects. Chad Blocklinger is saying that he recommends our Starry Night cichlids. He's got two great fish. Love the Starry Nights. Beautiful fish. Yeah, Zen Ginger's saying about how we share the breeding. We do. I mean, it's a network of people, and like I said, it frees up a lot of space for us to work on new species. So we like that. Phoenix 100 is asking ideal tank size for an all male peacock. I would say ideal would be a 125 or bigger. I do see people with 75s and 90s that are able to, maintain a pretty good amount of males in that size tank, but ideal would be a 125 or bigger. Yeah, Ripsall comment. He said at least a 75. Yeah, 75 would be on the bottom range. Tracy Brunson's asking what kind of cichlids can live in an unheated aquarium. So I would say all those cichlids that we have from Uruguay. You've got the. I'm getting a phone call. Tell them. All right. The Uruguay fish can handle the cooler temps, like the Gymno species, the Gymno Geophagus balzani, the Rhabdotus that I showed off, the yellow Acara that we have. I caught them actually personally in Argentina, and it gets pretty cool in the area that I caught them in. But when you also say unheated, if it's unheated in the Midwest in the middle of wintertime where it gets down to freezing, then that's too cold. But a lot of the Uruguay cichlids, they can handle temps down into the 50s with no problem. Jason Herrick is asking about the location on the Bozemanai. I actually do. I don't want to say it on camera because I'm not. I want to make sure that it's the right one. But if you email us, I will look up the location for you. And that's just something recently that I found out when Gary Lang stopped by to visit. He told us the location for the one that we have. Kayla Aquatic says she agrees with the stance on parrots. Um, yeah, she says the platinums seem to be a little bit better body shape, not as much deformed. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the platinums. I think I've seen them before online, but I never really checked them out too close. Midnight Keepers reminded everybody about our Facebook group. So we have a Facebook community page that is our customers go to learn more about fish and share their tanks. The Facebook group is called Imperial Tropicals Fish Keepers. So join the group and introduce yourself to everybody. Um, Keith Hanshaw's asking for a loach species that will eat bladder snails. I have an explosion and need to get it under control. Um, well, let's ask Drayden. He's actually in the office with us. What do you think on the loaches? Do you think the coolies will they?
Coolies might. Usually botillas are a little bit better. Zebra loaches, sometimes clown loaches will eat snails.
Yeah,
Usually, if you limit your feeding a little bit,
they'll go away.
the snails will just kind of go away on their own. I've had random fish eat snails. Like I had a fest of them
Yeah,
that just ate snails. That's all he ate.
yeah,
So it's kind of luck of the draw. Usually a combination of all three of those. Maybe try a school of clown loaches, see how they do as long as your tank's big enough. And you might be able to train coolie loaches to eat them if you like squish some of the snails and
yeah.
let them fall down to the bottom.
Assassin snails is another.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's another one. The assassin
A
snails
few of those in the tank.
they don't breed neither. So, but I know I introduced Drayden a few weeks ago. I think we had you on camera briefly showing you, but he's so if you have questions about fish, about availability or compatibility, email us and Drayden will help you with what you need. He's also been active on the group, helping people out with questions and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
it's a great place to learn.
yeah,
I learn from it every day, so keep it coming.
yeah. So, but yeah, and availability, it's not me. Like I'll tell you, I think we have it, but like, he would know better than I would. So. Ginger's saying her assassin snails did breed. I have an outbreak. I do hear of them breeding some, but I think your salinity's got to be a little bit high. So I don't know if you're adding salt to the tank, but
I think they breed.
yeah. So, but we don't see the explosions like you do with some of the other snails. And if you breed, that's really good. So share them with other people because they do a great job eating, other snails. Um, Big Salinas is asking which fish, if you were able to obtain but never able to, would I like to have, basically. Hmm. Well, the Asian arowana would be one. That would be like at the top of my list. When I was in Canada, I got to see a lot of pictures of them in people's tanks, and I got to see some when I was there. And that's a fish that we're not allowed to have in the U.S. that I wish we would be able to because I think they're really majestic looking fish. Um, but I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. There's a lot of fish out there that are obtainable, but I haven't been able to obtain them yet because I don't have enough tank space. Like I used to bring in shipments from Brazil and Colombia back in the day when I had more tank space. But as the breeding has grown to more varieties, I have less tank space available. So I think the warehouse is going to allow me to bring in like some really, really amazing fish. And then we bring them in. We're like, you know what? That fish is super rare and hard to get. We need to breed it. So I think it's going to really open up a lot of doors for me, not just on South American or Central, but even on like the Tanganyikan fish. The Petrochromis. I like to have the Moshi and the Bulu points, different strains of Frontosas, and I just don't have the tank space for them yet. But I'm working on that. Alfred's asking why we can't have them in the U.S. So it is a CITES fish, which is a species of concern. That means that the natural population for that fish is threatened. But the thing about the Asian arowana is it is not threatened because these are all man-made varieties that are bred for coloration. So like I mean, they have hundreds of thousands of them, but for some reason, the U.S. is very slow to make exceptions to where like Canada, they made the exception because somebody with some sense looked at it and said, "Oh, they're breeding these fish in captivity. It's not even the same as the wild type. They're no longer collected in the wild." So they're working on it though. I know there's a push right now to get them approved, for the U.S. So we got River Life on. Cool. I know he's got a YouTube channel. I got to meet him at the Aquatic Experience. And that brings up shows. I might as well kind of give you an idea of what we're going to be doing for shows. Next week, we have the Global Pet Show in Orlando. So next Friday, I'll probably go live at the Global Pet Show. Unfortunately, the Global Pet Show is for vendors only, so the public is not allowed to go to that show. But it's a huge pet show, and it's not really a great fish show. I mean, we'll be there, and there'll be some other fish people there, but it's not. It's mostly dogs and cats. It's a massive show. I don't know what the attendance is, but it's tens of thousands of people go there, but it's mainly dogs and cats. So but we'll go live next week at the show and show you guys the show. Yeah. Ginger's giving some updates on the assassin snails, but she said no salt. So yeah, yeah, you got she's running out of other tanks. We'll share them with some other fish keepers. Assassin snails are great. So GM Walker says he's watching from Arizona and doing water changes. Nice. So a lot of people when they watch the live feed, they're doing the water changes at the same time. So that's good. Double duties, knocking it out. So make sure you do those water changes. Usually when you have a health issue in your tank, it could be traced back to your water quality. So, that's why water changes are so important. A lot of times when fish are stressed, that's when you have issues with disease. So keep up with those water changes. Well, everyone, I'm going to wrap it up. I still got a lot to do today, and but I didn't want to skip Fun Friday, even though Sierra wasn't here. So she will be back next week, and I do believe that she's going to be going to the Global Pet Show. So we will probably be live next Friday at the Global Pet Show. So check it out next Friday. If you got any questions, make sure you email us. And I appreciate everybody's support. You guys are awesome, and we're working on big things. And we thank you guys for supporting us to allow us to follow our dreams. So have a good weekend, and we will check you out next Friday. Thank you.